All right, there you go. Hey everyone, welcome to goodness. We're April 13th, almost half of the month gone. Wow. Thank you for being on. My name is Sonia Dudley. I'm a Diamond Ambassador. I've been with Plexus for going on 14 years. Helen, we can say that now. Going on 14 years,
Yeah.
13 and a half for sure. And we are so passionate about what these products have done for us. And so many, how can you make a business full time out of something unless the products aren't real and working in people's lives? And these last 6 or 8 weeks, more than ever, we have seen some some phenomenal stories, breakthroughs, great things happening with our new protocol, the new natural GLP-1 system, which totally supports your gut health as well. And Marla's going to share a lot about that tonight. She's very good with explaining and it always makes sense. And if you're on here as a guest, we just want you to sit back and take it all in. If you want to take notes, if you just whatever you need to do to absorb everything we're about to talk about. But we have a wonderful guest speaker on tonight who I was on her team Zoom last week and had so much fun with your team. So I'm really honored that Emily said, yes, I'll be glad to share my story. I can't wait to hear it. I'm not sure I've ever heard it all in one at one time or in one place. So I'm really excited we all are to hear your testimony with Plexus and what the products and business has done for you. And I'm just gonna let you take it away. I'm so glad this is recording. So I know there's a lot that aren't on that wanted to be. So thank you.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for letting me be on. I feel so honored. When I first started my Plexus business after kicking and screaming for many years, these two women were the women that I would train under. They didn't know it, but I would train under them. And so it makes me sweat a little bit that they've asked me to come and share my story. But you guys are in good hands. They are amazing women, and I'm honored and blessed to call them friends. So my name is Emily. I live in Boise, Idaho. I have an amazing husband. We've been married almost 15 years, and then we have two daughters who are newly teenager and walking into teenage years. So that's been fun, a fun season for our family, fun learning, like you were saying. My story is I didn't really have anything crazy with my health. I didn't really think much about it. I was not a supplement taker at all. I would go to Walmart because I'd get on like a little health kick and I'd go grab a bunch of celery and grab some women's vitamins and then take it for about a day or two and then forget about it. And then it was just money wasted. And so I never was consistent with supplements. A girlfriend of mine that I had gone to college with, and we weren't very close, but we went to college together. She reached out to me many years ago and told me about Plexus and told me that it was helping her lose some weight. And oh, but by the way, you don't need to lose any weight. So she had a great little tactic there. But she talked to me about Plexus. I say talk to me. She messaged me about Plexus, and I don't think I ever responded to her. Well, then she started to continually message me kindly, and she asked me for my address. I thought, well, I am a very frugal woman, and if this person wants to send me a little something, like we all love snail mail. So I gave her my address. And then, without me asking for it, she sent me this big box, and it had 3 sticks of Slim. It had like a Plexus catalog. It had some Success catalog, and it had a little bit of other promotional material. And when I got it, I was like, "Really? Like this is what she's sending me?" Because I was not interested. I didn't understand it. I just saw a lot of people on social media sharing about this pink drink that was helping them lose weight. And I was nursing my youngest at the time, and I've never been somebody that's like super comfortable putting stuff in my body. I didn't get on birth control, and so we got pregnant 2 seconds after we got married. I didn't really understand that stuff, and that stuff kind of scared me a little bit. And I also wasn't sure like what these people are losing weight, but like where is that good for their body, but yet I'm like sitting here chomping on tacos and eating ice cream and drinking my sodas, and but what a crazy woman. So I ended up throwing the sticks of Slim away. Again, I was so skeptical and I just threw them in the trash because I thought it's not worth it. I don't understand it. It's probably got chemicals in there. So I threw it away. Well, so for 4 years, she continually lovingly got in touch with me to do Plexus. And most of the time I would ignore her. Sometimes I'd say no. Other times I was like, no, I'm not interested. Please stop. Well, one day, 4 years later, I just remember looking in the mirror and just feeling like I didn't recognize myself anymore. I was living off of tortilla chips and macaroni and cheese and tons of sugar and kids' chicken nuggets. And I looked in the mirror and just felt like a busted can of biscuits. And it was just sad. Like I just felt like I did not know what to do.
Mm.
And so I had seen over these years people talking about how the products were, plant-based and they were natural and they were helping with other things outside of weight. And so I reached out to that friend and she ended up sending me through or 2 months worth of the gut health system because she knew that we were so tight financially. My husband and I both worked for nonprofit ministries and I was bringing in $500 a month. He was bringing in a little bit more. I mean, quite a bit more than what I was bringing in, but we were still really, really tight working ministry jobs. I deeply longed to stay home with my daughters, but I wanted to contribute because I don't know about you guys, but I would like go and find things from yard sales or thrift stores and clean them up and sell them on Craigslist. I'd like tow my kids, my tiny babies, in my car and meet up with random strangers to sell a $3 t-shirt because I just wanted to be home with my kids, but I wanted us to not be so stressed behind, at the grocery store checkout. Had a lot of dreams, but just kind of stuffed those in the back because it just was not where we were financially. So I tried the products for 2 months, really hoping I'd lose 40 pounds in those 2 months and I'd like look all good and not have to go do Plexus because I knew if I wanted to get started on them, I'd have to buy them. She wasn't going to send them to me forever. And so after 2 months, I did not lose 40 pounds. I actually hadn't lost any weight at all, but I felt really good. I felt that bloating in my stomach going away. I felt that like very little sugar cravings, much more energy, much better sleep, which is huge for my family because I come from a long line of insomniacs. Just going to the bathroom regularly, I didn't realize that that was a problem that I had had until it wasn't a problem anymore. And so after 2 months, it was one of those things where I had to make a decision. So, long story short, I only have 1 minute and 20 seconds left. I decided to take the products. I, and when I decided to take the products, I really prayed over it for like a full month. I wrote a pro and a con list because I knew that if I was going to continue to do the products, I needed to get them paid for. But I think over those 4 years, I was seeing that the business side was actually very lucrative. And I really did believe, like, I pushed it away. I didn't want it, but I really did believe that that was going to be, Plexus was going to be the vessel to change so much for my family. So I remember signing up January 13th of 2017 with just this nervousness in me, but also this anticipation. And I didn't like fly to the top in the first month. I don't even think I went silver in the first month, but I was super coachable. I was taking what I was learning very seriously. Nothing was handed to me on a silver platter. Like I was going and learning and I was implementing, and I would wake up on Saturday mornings at 5 o'clock while my girls were still asleep and go to Panera and just work for a couple of hours. And it was so cool because a few months in, we had gone, maybe we were almost gold. And I remember going on a date with my husband, and I remember him just saying to me, "You just seem really fulfilled." And at that moment, I just started to weep because like this is not a super comfortable business when you step into it because you're being vulnerable. You're stretching your comfort zone. And I was afraid I was being annoying. And I had so many highs, but I also had a lot of lows. I had a lot of really, really hard things happen in my business. But for him to say to me that he could see me being fulfilled, and then for him to say, thank you for bringing in this extra money, for my paycheck with my nonprofit ministry to double in the first couple of months of doing Plexus, I was able to stay home with my children. And then that just totally catapulted. And so my biggest part of my story is, yeah, I have amazing results with the health benefits. But the biggest part is the business. This summer, my family is actually moving to Germany for 5 weeks. And we're going to go serve at a military ministry program. For 2 summers in the past, we actually were able to move to England and serve at a missionary bed and breakfast because my husband was able to also leave his job and pursue his heart's deepest desires, which is writing stories about God and writing stories about people and their story about Jesus. And
Mm.
so he's actually written quite a few documentaries that he wouldn't have been able to do had Plexus not entered into our lives. We wouldn't have been able to go overseas and serve. I mean, just so many things being, hospitable and generous and giving and like those are things that I always wanted, but just didn't know how we'd ever be able to get to that place. And so I mean, it is hard.
Not that
It's
it's
hard work, but it's also when you step back, it is so worth it. And it is something that I am forever deeply grateful for because it has completely changed our life, our daughters' lives, our families' lives, and countless others because there's no way you can get to Diamond without it helping other people in their businesses and their families' lives as well. So that's my short story. I'm sorry, I'm a little over 7 minutes.
okay. I was just sitting here. You could have talked seven more. I was just like, wow, 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 wow. Truly, like that is your story is so rare because most people to hear you say 4 years later and you threw the samples away she mailed you. I'm like, 4 years later, like who's your sponsor? Like she is a dog with a bone. I love her
It's
already.
Tamra Holloway is my
Oh,
sponsor.
Tamara's your sponsor? I did not. Yeah, Tamara's a dog with a bone. Wow, a little dog with a bone, but a powerful dog with a bone. That is amazing. What a story. Thank you so much for sharing because that was very, very encouraging to a lot of us who let people go too soon and give up on people too soon. That's such a message. So,
I was going to
thank you.
say for whoever, I kind of thought it was Tamara because I know you're in her downline, but I thought whoever that was has such a strong belief in
Yeah,
Plexus. Like that they just let whatever for you to say no. Like, I mean, I haven't pursued anybody, and I believe in Plexus, but I've never done that. Like sent a bunch of sample. Like, did she know that you threw them away? She probably
I
found
don't
out
think she
later.
knew, but that was something too. When she sent me 2 months worth of the triplex for free, that was so moving to me because exactly like you said, Helen, I thought she believes so much in these products that she's willing to like spend this money and she believes in me. And
And
that just
yes, that was
totally,
my next thing. I mean, for she clearly saw
true.
this gal could be a diamond, and that's exactly what happened. And thank you for sharing. That was just beautiful. I'm so happy for your husband to be able to do all that. And then your family can like live somewhere else for five, where what other job would let you go do that?
An
Nowhere.
experience.
So
Well,
great for you.
very moving. Very moving.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, it's hard to follow that, but Marla, I'm going to turn it over to you. Here's what we're going to try to do tonight. I'll be able to jump off, right, Marla, right before 8 to do the other call. Okay, so hopefully we can get the recording up this time instead of what happened last time. So I'm gonna let Marla take over and share about these incredible products that are changing so many people.
Oh, I feel like this is not near the level as Emily's story. Because Emily, I heard your story the first time. I think when you were Emerald and you spoke at convention on stage. Is
yeah,
that
I think I've seen you, Ruby, and scared to death.
okay? Yeah. So I've kind of followed you since then, and I would love to find out what your husband's documentaries are. That'd be cool to watch too. So are they on Netflix or?
I think Prime. I'll send him, I'll put it here in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yes. Wow.
So thank you so much, Emily. We all start skeptically, I think, most of us. I was a skeptic too, and the blessing of these products is they work if you take them. And then the business works if you share and you're consistent and intentional and step into being coachable and growing yourself. So, first of all, I want to talk about the Slim and Trim combo. For those of you that are on, if you've been taking it a while, share in the chat what it's done for you so far. For me, a year and a month ago, I was 35 pounds heavier. and I kind of drew my line in the sand, and I started on Restore pretty consistently. And I know that was a big factor in my sustainable loss. I only averaged like a half a pound, a little over half a pound a week losing weight, but I stuck through it. And then I started on February 15th with this combo with our Slim and Trim combo, which is our Hunger Control Slim. And our Hunger Control is different than our microbiome activating. The Hunger Control has some ingredients that help enhance our GLP-1 and helps our hunger signaling, our ghrelin and our leptin. So we have the polydextrose that feeds your good bacteria, gut bacteria. So this black cherry lime is the one that most people are ordering with the Slim and Trim combo. And the second product is our liver enhancement, detox, restore. That's been a game changer for deeper sleep, less I mean, the combination of these, there's three products. I'm going to get to the third, really have just shut off my hunger cravings after 8 p.m. That was always my hard time. Like, even if I ate something healthy, it seemed like I always had to munch on something after supper. And since the 15th of February, I don't think I've had one snack other than we had company and we went to Cold Stone one night and had popcorn with the grandkids one night. Can't say no to that. But really, when my husband is sitting next to me eating Dots pretzels, which I love, and I just like looking at them going, they don't even look good. And I know it's these products. So I love this. So the Balance is the third product that goes with our Slim and Trim. And this actually helps block your sugars and carbs. I'm going to use the notes here that I have. That it helps maintain your blood glucose levels already in normal range, delays digestion and reduces the absorptions of carbs and sugars, supports your weight management, reduces the glycemic index of carbs and sugars, helps neutralize enzymes that turn carbs and sugars into glucose, and helps reduce calorie intake. So the three of these, it's such a simple system, you guys. So if you're new on here, this is what you take. Anytime from the 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. window is actually best to support the hormone, the hunger signaling. But I've had many days I haven't been able to get it in that timeline and fit in at 4 o'clock, and I still see the benefits. So, but best is 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and like 30 minutes before a meal. And you want to make sure you drink your purple drinks. You combine the two drinks, with however much water you want, and drink that within 30 minutes. You don't want to sip on it for a long time. It affects the efficacy of the product. So that's our Slim and Trim combo. And then along with that, I wanted to share, if we have time, we have like 5 minutes left. I believe we want to hop off because there's another call. Unless, Helen, did you want to say anything before I get into gut health?
Sorry about that. No, I think you did great. I mean,
so the other system that's very, very popular, and the one that I started with over 11 years ago, is our Triplex, which is now called the Gut Health System. And it really, I was a huge skeptic. I was a fitness instructor, teacher, had multiple jobs. Had been a single mom 15 years and started these products right before I was getting married. And I wanted to lose 10 pounds before my wedding. And that's all I thought this could do. But what happened was I didn't crave my Diet Coke. I didn't want naps. I woke up before my alarm. I wasn't craving sugar 24/7. And I started being regular, just all these things that I thought were normal and part of aging. I was 52 when I started. So the gut health system saved me. I will forever be with Plexus. And that's a magnesium supplement, BioCleanse, which can really help get your body just cleaned out. It doesn't mean you have to be running to the bathroom. Some people will start with 1 or 2, and some need 6 if they aren't regular. It really depends. So that's where it's important to work with your sponsor about the dosing. And also, if you're starting on the Triplex or the Slim and Trim combo and you've never been on the gut health products, I encourage people to order this if they're not regular in their history of health. So it's just wise you don't want to be plugged up when you start any products. So the magnesium supplement helps keep your body alkaline, and it if you research magnesium deficiency, there are probably 300 symptoms that can show up because you're magnesium deficient that can get misdiagnosed. And I used to have to deal with migraines all the time too, and headaches, and just so many things that disappeared when I started on these products, and it's because of this gut health system. So the BioCleanse, and then our ProBio 5 is our probiotic that has 5 good gut bacterial strains with digestive enzyme that helps get rid of the bad gut bacteria, the intestinal yeast that can get too much in your system. So this too, you want to start off slow, start with 1, progress into 2, 3, then 4, and then you go back into maintenance. So again, you want it, the timing of it is important to work with your sponsor. And the other is a pink drink, and we have, you can start either with the hunger control or the microbiome activating. And we have many flavors. They're all yummy, so it's hard to pick and tell people which one to order. But we have electrolytes too. We have active energy drink. Who here loves the active energy drink? It doesn't give you the jitters and helps create nitric oxide, which is huge for blood flow in our bodies and for pre-workout. Our creatine, we have probiotics, the prebiotics, the vital biome helps with anxiety. We have so many great products. We don't have time to share about them all, but our our 2 top selling ones we want to focus on tonight with the Slim and Trim GLP-1 and the gut health system. So if you have any questions, do we have any time? Nope. 2 minutes? 2 minutes. So if anyone wants to put it in the chat, what your questions are. We also have a messenger chat social tomorrow night. If you want to be plugged into that, let me know, or your sponsor. That's just a 15-minute educational information and messenger. Looks like isn't. Hold on. Oh, someone said, Restorers help me feel full. Like sometimes I have to remember to eat because I'm not hungry at all. Love the taste. Yeah.
Marla, the messenger event, that's for people to invite people who are curious and they can just sit back and listen and read the information. So if you add them to the chat, doesn't mean that they have to participate or do anything, but they have access then to the information. I love that. Thank you for doing that.
Yep.
So yeah, good stuff. And I want to say that if any of you want, if you're on here and you're checking this out, um, this is a great month if you're like, I'd love to do this. I've got people I'm thinking of that if this works for me, like a lot of my customers this last month, they're having great results. Like I had 4 in the last week report 7.7, 7.4, 10 pounds, 12 pounds, but all the other non-scale victories, but they're already sharing. So if you're thinking, if this works, I mean, there's $410 on the table this month if you share with 3 customers. That's crazy money. Not only would that pay for your products once, but twice. So just don't be scared to ask about that to whoever invited you on, because it's certainly something we can tell you how to share your referral link. Very simple to do.
Yeah, and I explained this last night to a few people about, our hostess plan is our referral link. Like I've hosted many Pampered Chef parties and all the parties, and you get lots of products or half price on the products. But with ours, like if you want to invite friends to this, you get 3 order, you can earn, like Sonia said, $400. So that's cash. It's not products. So such a benefit. So I think that's it for tonight, but I want to thank Emily again, and thank you all for taking time to be on tonight. And let's have a great rest of the week. And thanks again.